Hello everyone, this is Carolyn Muncie. I am from Ransomed Relics. As you see this slide, hop on, tell me you're here, and I'm on the Prima Redesign page, and I am actually a new brand ambassador for Prima. I'm a content creator for Dixie Belle, and I'm also am a brand new brand ambassador. So I've been here maybe 3-4 weeks, and so I'm excited to come here and be able to share what I want to use Prima products for. Prima has such a vast line of products. You've got the transfers, you've got the waxes, you've got the stencils, you've got all kinds, just a plethora of things that we can put in our arsenal as an artist. And whether you paint on canvases, whatever you paint on, whether you paint on a door or a bucket or whatever you paint on, Prima has a product that you can use. So I am right now doing a headboard, and there you go. You can see the headboard in its natural state right here. And if you are on, please tell me that you're on. I'm hoping that I am on here. I don't see any comments yet. So when you get on here, let me know I'm live and I'm going good. And but if not, I'm just going to keep on talking. I do that very easily. So anyhow, this is my antique bedroom set that I'm going to be working on. I have got an armoire, a dresser with a matching mirror, and the bed. And so I'm real excited about this because I feel like it's really going to push me as an artist to a new level, I'm hoping. And so I'll work on this tomorrow night on the Dixie Belle page live at 9 o'clock if you want to join me. But I want to show you what we've accomplished so far. I am using, put you down here, I am using, so sorry, here we go, let's bring you down close. So I've started with Dixie Belle French linen, and then this used to be sawmill gravy, and then I painted over it. So I'm going to show you what I painted too, and I used Dixie Belle paints to paint this. But I used, because I wanted a patina on this, so I used Dixie Belle Sea Spray to make a patina, and I'm real excited about it. If you could feel it, you could feel how rough it is. It's very, very, very rough. And I'm going to bring you in closer so that you can see the texture that you can achieve. And the texture is right there. You can just almost feel that texture. Now, what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to show you kind of an old world finish. And we're going to achieve that old world finish through waxes from Prima. And so I am going to be using the Prima Eternal. That is going to be one of my colors that I use. And let me see if I can, well, I'm just not seeing anything, you guys. Oh well, I'll keep on going and then I'll just post it whenever it's done. So this is Rusty Brown, and I hope you can, let me open that up. It's just kind of a brown color, but it's really, really pretty, and it's going to add some depth to what I'm doing. And then I've also got this beautiful color, and it's called Heather Hills, I think. Yes, Heather Hills. And this is the Art Alchemy Wax Cream. And then I've got Vintage Gold, which is an Art Alchemy. And then I have got Metallica, and this is the white gold. I love this color, and I tell you the reason why I love this color is because since I am using a French linen, which also lends with a taupe type of finish, I love it because what happens with it is that it's going to bring out the taupes as I add these colors and mingle and work with these colors. A little bit of that taupe is going to disappear, so I can bring it back with this white gold wax. So I am going to start, and I normally wax, you guys, just with my hands. I like the feel, I like the texture, I like to be able to see and feel what I'm doing. It's just me. So you can use a brush, you can use a rag, you can use whatever makes you comfortable. So we're going to work down here. You can see the hand painted design right there. I don't have it painted yet, but I've got my background done. And for those of you who would like to watch, after this is over with, I'm going to jump over to my page, which is Ransomed Relics. Please like my page if you haven't. And so I hand painted this the other night live, and you can go to my page and watch it if you want. And then this is the other side. And my idea for this is, since we're coming up on spring, you can kind of see the duck eggs, or not duck eggs, they're bird eggs right here in the nest, nestled in the nest. And then you've just kind of got this dreamy, drippy looking effect here with these flowers, and over here in the middle. And then I wanted these just very, very soft. And so you can see right here, I am using the Eternal with a little bitty artist brush, and I'm coming in, and you can see the difference from whenever I frame that around with that wax. And then let me show you where it's not. So you can see here, I haven't gotten to that yet. And then you see here, I've got a little bit of that done, but not much. And that's what we're going to work on too tonight, is we're going to work on doing the waxes. So if you comment, I don't know if my comments are turned off and I'm on, I have no idea. So if you do comment after the fact, I will go and I will definitely answer any questions that you have. And that's the beauty of lives, is that it is live. So you never know what will happen with the live, right? So here we go. I am going to clean off my little brushes here that I'm using for my liners right there. They're just cheap little brushes. But let's work first on patinaing around. You see I've got a little bit of patina here, but I don't have hardly any down here. So let's work down here, all right? And you can see see exactly what I'm doing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back here, and this is the soft, let's see, this is the rusty brown. It's just really kind of a really pretty muted color, and you don't want to on an old world, you want to layer your layers, because it makes it look like it's been there for a long time. And I try not to get too crazy about it. Sometimes I do, but it's easy to fix, right? So I'm just going to come in around this. Almost has a nice, pretty purpley hue, even though it does give you a pretty dark feel right through here. So here we go. And that is kind of my first layer through this little spot right here. And we're going to concentrate right here so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Then I'm going to go back and I'm going to take the Heather Hills. And I don't have a lot of purple in this piece, but I just think it kind of adds a little bit. Gives me another little color to kind of bounce off of. I'm thinking of this almost like the Secret Garden. You know what I mean? It's what I'm going to do a hand painting at the top in the other space. And so I'm going to add some of this up here. And as you can see, I'm just lightly going through here. I'm not doing anything crazy. Let me lift you up a little bit so you can see. I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm just going to create some layers, create some interest around this painting. Add me some color in here. And you could just leave it just like, you know, just like the sea salt. I always say sea salt, sea spray. Look, you can always leave it like that. You know, it's pretty just by itself. You could use paint, but I don't know. I just kind of think this is going to call for all this wax, and it's just going to be beautiful, I think. So the next thing I want to move to is I want to move to my white gold, I think. And this is a little darker than what my French linen is from Dixie Belle. But I just think it just adds just that little bit of interest there. And sometimes when I'm adding these, I can get too dark. And as you can see up here, let me bring you in closer. As you can see up here on this post right here, I want you to see that. You can kind of see all those colors mixing in together and how they kind of meld, and they kind of make it look, you know, like it's been there forever, just kind of a crusty little look. And that's really what we want. And the depth, even when I'm painting, normally I paint my dark values first, because I figure I can always lighten my darks. Of course, when you're doing this kind of stuff, sometimes you get nervous and you think, oh man, I just can't do this, you know, what if I mess up? Well, the beauty of this is if you mess up, it's just paint. And it doesn't matter, because you can always fix it. Always you can fix it. So I'm going to come here and let me see. I'm going to come here with my, I've got, let me see, it's sawmill gravy. I've got a little bit of sawmill gravy, and let me reach for my mister here. And what I want to do is I'm going to wet this. And you say, well, why would you wax it and then put a little paint over it? I'm just going to, and you're going to see what I'm going to do. I'm just going to lighten areas, and then I will come back through, and what that's going to do is that's going to go into all of those layers, and it's going to give me a really nice sheen in there. And I'm misting it so that I can wipe it off to what degree I want it wiped off. But you can kind of see it just kind of pulls that all in together. And like I said, it's very, very, very little paint, and you can still see the colors underneath this light area of paint. And if I want to, if I cover up too much, then what I do is I can just go back and add a little more. But I like the muted kind of a look there, because I feel like it gives you kind of a subtle patina on these darker colors. Alrighty. All right, so you can kind of see how I'm working right there, and you can kind of see how it just muted that down a little bit. And then I just want to do layers. I'm going to come back in here, and I'm just going to lightly, very, very lightly, just add maybe a little bit of that back. But to me, it kind of melds all these colors in together. Maybe I'm just anal, but I like it to look like it's really rough and it's really layering, and you're going to get a good, really good effect. And then the last thing you want to do in this finish is you want to come back in, and I'm using Eternal here. And I love this stuff, you guys. I mean, it's just like liquid candy to me. And you can go through and you can just highlight what you did. And like I said, I want this really, really subtle. I don't want one color to stand out other than the gold. You know, and with my gold, I always try to run my gold along the edges of anything that I paint, simply because it gives a definition. Like up here, let me show you up here. Right here, I'm going to run that along that definition. I hope you guys can see how that defines that curve. Let me bring you up a little closer so you can see how that is defining this picture and this whole thing. You can just watch it. You just watch it just pop. And that's what's so fun about these waxes, is that they take your piece from just a painted piece, which are just beautiful, and they just add that little touch of elegance. They add that little touch that makes the difference between a good piece or a fantastic piece, as far as I'm concerned. To me, it's all in the details. You know how realtors always tell you location, location, location? Well, my philosophy is details, details, details. Because when you go into the details, that is when you're going to define what your project is. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be hand painted like I hand paint. It doesn't have to be, it's your show. You get to do what's in your heart. You get to do exactly what your vision is. And your vision isn't going to be the same as mine. And thank goodness it's not, because if it was, this would be a boring world, wouldn't it? You know, we all bring something to the table, and every one of us has a gifting. And sometimes we just need that little bit of assurance that, you know what, I can't mess this up. I might as well try it. And that's where, you know, we all hear, you know, the happy mistakes. You know, Bob Ross always said, well, these are happy mistakes. So, you know, think of your painting and think of your projects as a learning curve. And you are going to learn, and you're going to get better and better and better and better. And I never painted until I painted decades ago. That's telling my age. I painted decades ago. Once in a while, I mean, just every now and again, I painted. And I always loved art. I've always done things artsy. I mean, my husband would leave for a week and he would never know what would be our house would look like on his return, because inevitably I would do some type of a large project or something. I might tear out a wall, or I might, you know, that feeling of creation was always in me, you know. But in the past couple of years, or actually a year and a half, I picked back up my paintbrush and I just started painting, and now I just do whatever comes to my heart and to my mind. So what you can see I'm doing here, and let me bring you back up here so you can really see. I want you to be able to see this. I am taking the Eternal, and you know those little bitty grooves that's always in some of these older pieces, and you think, what in the world am I going to do with those? They're not deep enough to really do much with. But this is a great way to make those beautiful details stand out, and you can kind of see it's standing out here as I work. And we are going to go all along this whole thing. And if what I looked for whenever I'm looking for a brush to do this is I look for something that's thin. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me see. it's very, can you see how thin that is? This is the front, this is that. You can see how thin it is. I look for something thin because when you add your gold to it, it's going to kind of branch out a little bit. And so if you go with a pretty fine brush, it's going to make your job a lot easier, and you're not going to get as much overflow, you know. But if you do get a little overflow, it's fine, because all you do is you go in and you pounce a little paint in there and you're good to go. So I don't really worry too much about if I do a little boo-boo or something, because you can always fix it. Might take some time, but you can always fix it. And you can just kind of see as I'm moving around here what this is going to do to this piece. You can see right there I got off just a little bit, but I can easily come back. Let me just do that right now. I'll just easily come back and just kind of, more right here, and I think that's lighter. So let me come in here with a lighter paint. And you can just see how easy that was fixed. There you go. Sometimes when I'm painting live, it kind of gets a little scary because you think, oh my goodness, what if I mess up? Well, if I mess up, I mess up. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. And in some ways it's probably good for you guys to see me mess up, because sometimes you see someone paint and you think, oh, they never mess up. Yeah, we mess up. And you know what? We learn to just let it dry and go back and fix whatever it is that we messed up. And I'm trying to make sure that you guys are in the groove here and can see. Prima products are so versatile. Let's say you're not an artist and you can't draw, you know, a picture. You think you can't. To me, I think there's an artist in everybody, and we're all different. But anyway, maybe you think you can't do anything. But you know what? The Prima transfers are so pretty, and they sure don't take as long as it does for me to hand paint it. But you've got these beautiful, all kinds of different transfers. If you've never seen, and most of us, I think, in the paint world have seen Prima transfers and absolutely love them. They're so user-friendly. And then all of a sudden you get this piece and you go, ah, look how beautiful my piece is. I'm an artist, you know. And it gives you that feeling of accomplishment, and it gives you that feeling of completion on your pieces. And so I'm rounding out here down to my messy roses, which is what I call them. And we're rounding out here. Getting ready to meet over here. You can see my point right here. And you can let this dry and come back and fill in places maybe that you think are too thin. But it really, the coverage is very, very good. It's very good. And so I'm going to pull you guys back here in just a minute. And then you can kind of see where we're at with this. You can see the difference that a little bit of that wax makes, right? So there you go. Now you've got this that's all plain in one sense of the word. It's not done. You can see that. And then you go over here and you see, and let me look out, get out of your all's way. You can go over here and you can just see how a little bit of that gilding wax makes such a difference. Look at that. It just gives it, and I don't just do the center, I do little bitty places throughout, so it gives it that mingled, really, really pretty look. And, you know, and this will all get sealed, and it brings just such a pretty look. And I missed right here, there is an indentation right here that I missed. So let's fill this in. And this, like I said, this is a great way for you to do details. And it's easy, quick. You saw how quickly I did that whole thing around there and how quickly I patinaed this piece. And then, there we go. Then we've got that little curly Q on there. And it just, I think it's just beautiful. And for some of you, this won't be your style, and that's okay. Let me look and see what our time is. All right. So we are going to move, I'm going to do a little more patinaing over here, so that way I can get this whole side done. I don't have it patinaed where my bird nest is. I will start again with a little bit of the brown. And when you've got the Sea Spray on here by Dixie Belle, it just, when you're putting on your creams and your waxes, they go into those little bitty notches that you want them to go into. I mean, that's what you want to happen. And you can see down here just how plain that is. And then we just go in with a little bit of these creams and waxes. We give it a little bit of character here. And it really does change. To me, I think it changes, I think it changes the whole look. Okay, so I've got the rusty brown in there. I'm going to come back with Heather Heels. I love this Heather Heels. It's just really pretty. Gives it all that little, and you know, and sometimes you might not want to do what I did and go over it, you know, and lighten it up. You might want to keep it this vibrant color, and that's perfect too. You know, I just feel like with what I'm going to do, paint on it, I think that a little bit lighter is just going to work better for my vision, I guess. But, and I might go over here and just add a little more here, bring out a little more of that purple maybe. And that's good. Like I said, if your colors aren't coming through the way you want, just go back through and fix them where you want them. It's your piece until someone buys it or you keep it. Alrighty then. So we've got that, and I think all I'm going to do is spray this and just gently go through here and use this to just give me a little bit of highlights here, there, and yon. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to come back in here. I just love what this does. It's almost hypnotizing, because you come in here and you know, it's just so relaxing to me whenever I get to this part of my project where I'm doing my vision and I'm adding what I want to add, and and it's going where I want it to go. To me, this is my favorite part. And I think I'm just going to run this over here and let that encase this and bring those pretty details out. And that's what your gilding waxes are for. They're for to bring out your details. And you can just see how pretty that is. Or at least I think it's pretty. You know, and you know, that's the other thing too. As an artist, I may not appreciate, or I may not, well, what I should say is I may not like everything that I see someone do, but in my estimation, you can always appreciate what they do. You know what I'm saying? Even if it might not be your style or your thing, you know, you can always appreciate the hard work that they put into it. You can always appreciate their style, even if it's not your style. I know that a lot of times, you know, I'll have people come on and say, oh, I love what you did. It's not necessarily my style, but it's absolutely beautiful on what you did. So, you know, encouragement goes a long way for all of us, doesn't it? And, okay, so now I've pretty much got this side pretty much done. I'm going to put some here, down here on this. And you know, you need to look at your pieces in every single angle that you've got. You know, turn your pieces, get into a different angle, lay down on the floor, whatever you have to do to be able to view your pieces. Because what will inevitably happen is you'll get it done, you'll take it outside, or you take it to get the pictures taken, or you'll go to do pictures, and then all of a sudden you see a place you missed, or you see something that you're going, oh my goodness, how in the world did I miss that? So I try to view everything that I do from different angles. And you can see, I'm going to bring you guys up and let you see the finished. You know, up here, there you go. You can see that up close. I'm going to bring you here, and then let's go here. And trying to see what I'm doing. You can kind of see where that's at, where that's going. You can see the pretty finish there. I just think it's really pretty, you all. Very soft, very feminine, and that's what this piece is. It's supposed to be very romantic and springy and feminine, and we'll see. So we've got a little bit of time. Let's just continue over here. Now, like I said, if you want to see me paint this panel, whenever I get off of here, give me about till 10 after 10, and I will go on my page and I will start, I'll start this panel right here. We're just going to let these, and I just try to use a flat finger and rub. I'm not real light on the rubbing on this particular thing, because it kind of seems like if you rub it in flatly, if that makes sense, you don't want to get down in all those little grooves. But if you rub it in flatly, it really makes a difference in the look of it. So you can kind of see again how this looks very toned, very old world, and that just looks kind of plain to me, especially after you get done with that. And Prima has all kinds of colors. You're not limited to colors. They have got a ton of waxes and creams, and I mean, they've got a plethora of colors. These are just the colors that I have, and these are the colors that that I wanted to be able to use. And I'm just going to start this one again. And I am so sorry, you guys. I have no clue what I've done. This, like I said, this is my first time There's probably people wondering why I'm not live. I'm not for sure if an admin has to allow this to go on, or if after I'm off, they'll approve it and it'll go on. I'm not for sure. So next time I go live, hopefully I'll be live and you guys will see me. I mean, I am live, but I'll have to get this little thing figured out, and it's okay. You can see it when you can see it, right? Maybe it's just like paint. If we make a mistake, we learn from our mistakes, right? Alrighty. We're still working. Now I got a little bit on there, but that doesn't concern me whatsoever. Right, this is your, let me see. This is that white gold, and I love the white gold because it's kind of got almost a taupe or almost a champagne look to it. It's really, really pretty. And then we'll come back with our brown to give this a little bit of base here. You can just kind of see it kind of adds a little bit of dimension and depth. And I'm being liberal with it. And they're all going to meld in together. That's one reason why I guess I kind of put that, just a dusting of the sawmill gravy over this, because I want this to kind of come through and kind of bleed through a little bit. And it kind of just, to me, makes it look like it's old, and it's layers upon layers upon layers. I could live, eat, and breathe these waxes, you guys. I love them so much. You want to make sure that you're carrying on your patina around. Just a little bit of purple in there. Offset all this. Now, when you get down here, I am seeing, let me find a little brush. I'm kind of seeing that I'm getting right in this corner, that I'm getting a line, and you don't want that. So just use a little brush, probably go back into here and pull that over just a little bit. Now, some people use a brush to do their wax, and that's probably the better way to do. Maybe, I don't know. We all do it different. I've always been a hands-on person. Don't give me a textbook. Show me how to do it, and I can do it. You know, I love online demonstrations because that's how I learn the best, is if someone demonstrates to me how to do something. That's my best learning curve. Bring some of this over here. And this purple. All right. So now I saved my gold till last. Now I'm going to, I've got enough paint in this brush right here left over that I can just mist it a little bit. And if you get too much, you can just kind of dry it off. I'm just going to mist it a little bit, mist it on here. And then you can take a rag. If you get a little much, mist it, spray it, and just make that look all melded together. And like I said, there's no one way to do anything. Everyone has their own ideas of how they want things to be and how they want to do it. And there's no right way, there's no wrong way. It's just your way. And your way isn't right and it's not wrong. And if you like someone else's tutorial and they show you a tip, hey, we are all learning. Every one of us are learning, or we should be, you know. And now I'm going to maybe go back on it. I think that's blended a little too much, so I might just go in here and add just a little more. But it does look good to me because I know in my mind what finish I want. And sometimes what your mind tells you and what you get might be two different things, but it's okay. All right, so just add a little more of that. And you can also go back, this is a great technique, if you want to add a little bit, I kind of like that, just stippling. And I can go back over everything that I've done over here. I don't like that, that's for sure. So my brush wasn't wet enough. But see, look, I can fix that easily. Just stipple little bitty places of where it's a little lighter. And then as that dries, it dries a little darker. But I kind of like that. I might go back over my previous finish and kind of add a little bit of that in there. And let's say I feel like I've got it too light right there. Just all I got to do is come into my French linen and pick up a little bit of my French linen and come back in here and add. You can even do that with your waxes. You can add a little more of that with your waxes. All right, so I like the movement there. Let's see, where's my brown at? Oh, that's my gold. I just think that's just a little too light through there. So I'm just going to come back in. You guys should just work with it. That's what it is. And that's what gives you that good look. It's just as you keep working it and you get it to where you want it to be. And then I'm going to come back in here. I'm going to go over my sides here. And these type of projects take longer maybe than slapping paint on something and putting a transfer on it. You know, you're working with patinas, you're working with making something look like something it is not. And that's okay. All right. So I'm going to bring a little bit of that gold through here. Well, this has been fun, you guys. I mean, I do hope you get to view it. And it could be just that my comments are off, or it could be, probably is that I'm doing it wrong. That's probably the process here. That I am doing it wrong. As far as being on, this is the first time, like I said, that I've been on Prima Live, so sometimes you gotta work out all those little bugs of how to do things. And then you're good. Sometimes when you've got the sea spray on here, it really, if you guys could see it, really gives this gold something to grab onto. It makes it really, really pretty. All right, so I'm not going to do my gold there because I've got to do my panel yet, and I've got to paint my panel. So you can see we spent about 50 minutes, and here we are. And let me get out of your way. You can kind of see what we've done in that 50 minutes. And we've added all this pretty detail, all of this. We've added a lot of this, and I'm going to tweak this a little bit, I think, as time goes on. And I hope that you have enjoyed this. And like I said, I'm Carolyn Muncie from Ransomed Relics. And if you haven't liked my page, please go like my page. If you have any questions, you can always send me questions. If there's anything I can help you with, I'm always willing to help. So you guys have a blessed night, and I will see you later. Just keep on painting, keep on creating. All right, you have a nice night.